What's going on YouTube? It's Mid-40s Gamer here coming at you with some more Elden Ring content. Today we're going to be taking a look at how to complete Sorceress Sellen's questline for a few amazing pieces of loot to pump up that sexy magic build that you plan on creating. This questline is a bit involved, but follows a rather interesting story centered around this exiled sorceress and a few of her banished friends. So let's get ready to join Sellen's Academy of Witchcraft and Wizardry, tell Melina Yennefer does it better, and get after it. Our story begins in Limgrave, where you'll run into Sorceress Sellen at the Waypoint Ruins, and as you can see from the map footage, it isn't terribly far from your starting location. There is one catch, however. Guarding Sellen's abode is a giant pumpkin-headed mini-boss that you'll have to get rid of before being able to access her underground study. The area that you'll be fighting in is rather tight, so you may want to make sure you have a spirit summon on deck as a distraction, and depending on your level and current equipment, you may want to pick your attack style carefully. After dodging the first attack faster than Amber Heard can dodge questions on the witness stand, we'll get in a good position to light this mini-boss up like Christmas at the Griswold house with one of our favorite caster combinations, the Meteorite Staff and the Rock Sling, and then finish him off with a sword through the heart. Once Mr. Pumpkinhead and his bucket of parts are no more, you can open the door to Sellen's secret study and chat her up for a bit. She'll introduce herself as the Graven Witch and ask you to study underneath her as her apprentice. After accepting, you'll be able to set the stage for her rather long questline. In order to move on from this point and advance the quest, you'll need to learn or basically buy enough sorceries from her to unlock more dialogue. After purchasing about 2 or 3 glintstone spells, it'll open up additional dialogue where Sellen will explain the finer points of being a glintstone sorcerer. After exhausting her additional dialogue, the next step's going to be to track down a strange sorcerer named Master Azor, who's located on Mount Gelmir past the Hermit Village to the north of the Magma Worm fight. As you can see from the map footage, we'll be starting our run from the Craftsman Shack and we'll be heading north from here through the Hermit Village, where you'll encounter Demi-Human Queen Maggie on the village's north side. Instead of fighting her, you can just ride past the area, proceed a little bit further, and light the site of grace that's nearby. Right next to the site of grace, you can find Master Azor, and after speaking with this legendary sorcerer, he'll teach you the Azor Comet spell, and with the right gear combination, this spell can make some devastating magic builds that can take down main bosses in the blink of an eye. After waiting for what seems like an eternity for his hand to even open, and accepting the Comet Azor spell, you can finally return to Sellen, show her your legendary sorcery, and continue her quest. She'll open up to you about her love of taboo glintstone sorcery, and she'll ask you to help locate one of her mentors. She'll give you the Celian Sealbreaker key and ask if you'll go after her long-lost teacher, Master Lusat. Sellen doesn't really give you much to work with beyond suggesting that Lusat may be hidden near Celia, the town of sorcery in Eastern Caelid. In order to find him, you'll need to make your way to the Celia Hideaway dungeon, which as the name suggests, is hidden behind an illusionary boulder. As you can see from the map footage, the easiest line of departure will be the Fort Faroth side of Grace. From this fairly well-known start point, where most players who've been around for a while have farmed runes out of the giant sleeping dragon, you'll have a fairly short movement to the west, which will require you to take a leap of faith down onto a spirit spring, and then after your padded crash landing, you'll need to turn torrent so that the cliff face is on your left side. The cave entrance will be about 70 meters to your east. Just look for the grave site with a fairly prominent tombstone guarded by a rather large sorcerer. It is important to note that when you first find this location, it'll be masked by an illusionary wall that you can strike or roll into to clear out of the way. Like most cave and dungeon areas in Elden Ring, this Celia Hideaway is a rather small cave area that's filled with illusionary walls to throw you off the scent of all those goodies that you can pull out of here. And it's rather easy to get turned around in here regardless of its size. As you follow the game footage, keep in mind this area comes equipped with stock enemies such as sorcerer miners, royal revenants, and one rather annoying glintstone sorcerer. One of the most interesting pieces of loot to come out of this area, aside from the spell reward for Master Lusat, is the Crystal Spear, which is a rather fun weapon to wield with D-tier scaling and dexterity, and a rather awesome ability called Impaling Thrust. As you can see past several illusionary walls, you'll reach a room with several crystals forming walkways over a chasm where you'll need to make your way down to the bottom to track down Master Lusat's magical prison cell. After dropping down to the bottom and avoiding some exorcist-style green projectile vomit, we'll run a rather short distance through another back tunnel that's void of enemies, and we'll follow this linear path all the way to its end. Make sure not to forget the somber smithing stone 4 before heading up the giant purple crystal, and from here you'll need to jump past some crystal snail type enemies and jump down into the main area of interest. You'll know you're in the right place when you run into a single glintstone sorcerer that you'll need to dispatch before using the key that Sellen gave you. Once you close with and destroy this enemy with whatever tactical method you choose, you'll be free and clear to open up Master Lusat's cell and interact with him. Keep in mind that if you haven't progressed far enough into Sellen's dialogue to obtain the Cellian key, you won't be able to open up this magical barrier. Like Master Azor, he won't have much to say, but he'll slowly open up his hand and release to you the legendary primeval sorcery, the Stars of Ruin, which does carry a mid-ranged intelligence requirement of 43. After securing the spell, you can return to Sellen for more dialogue and then prepare for another lengthy detour if you haven't already defeated Star Scourge Radahn. After speaking with Sorceress Sellen and showing her the legendary sorcery from Master Lusat and exhausting all her dialogue, you can head to the Warriors Festival located in Redmain Castle, which is in the southern area of Caelid. After talking to all the NPCs within the courtyard to continue all the other side quests you're following, you can head into the main arena and defeat Star Scourge Radahn. The mighty General Radahn has stopped the stars dead in their tracks, and the fates of all sorcerers, even outcast ones, are tied to them. Keep in mind that Star Scourge Radahn can be easily brought down by using Dragon's Rot Breath, which can be purchased for 1 Dragon Heart within the Dragon Cathedral in Caelid. Using this method will only require you to use some guerrilla tactics and tag Radahn with Rot Breath about 4 times, which should be sufficient enough to bring him down with very little trouble. Once Radahn is defeated, you can hop back to the throne room of Castle Redmain to gain some additional gaps in Sellen's story by speaking to Jaren. Jaren will be available for a chat following your battle with his master, General Radahn, and you'll need to exhaust all his rather short dialogue before heading back to Waypoint Ruins. After returning to Sellen, she'll have yet another task for you and will ask you for a bit of a favor. Your defense against the Dark Arts teacher will ask you to meet her at Witchbane Ruins in southern Limgrave on the Weeping Peninsula, where her real body is imprisoned. After exhausting her dialogue, we'll head out in search of Witchbane Ruins, and as you can see from the map footage, the ruins are located just south of the 4th Church of Marika within the Weeping Peninsula. Once you have boots on ground, you can hop on Torrent and head about 300 meters to the south where Witchbane Ruins is nestled into a poison swamp-like area that's littered with a few minor enemies. Once you get into the vicinity of the ruins, you'll have to keep an eye out for a set of stone stairs leading underground where Sellen's actual form is being held. It's not necessary to fight any of the enemies, so you can pass them up or fight them all if that tickles your fancy. After descending the stairs into Sellen's prison, you can loot up the area and then have a face-to-face conversation with this rather interesting sorceress. She'll explain to you that there are those who would love to see her dead, and you need to hold on to her very life essence in order to safeguard it. After exhausting her dialogue, she'll give you an item called Sellen's Primal Glintstone, which she informs you is her life essence that needs to be transferred into another body that she's had hidden away. After performing a short ritual, which is thankfully not over a giant lava pit underneath Pankot Palace while the words Molaram Sularam echo throughout a giant cavern, we'll secure Sellen's glowing heart, drop it in our pocket, and set off and search for another body to jam it into. It is important to note that if you reload the area, Jaren should appear in the basement. If he doesn't, try traveling back to Redmain Castle and speaking with him again. Jaren will reveal that Sellen, your beloved teacher, is a mass murderer. According to him, countless sorcerers fell to her hands, and he'll also confess that he doesn't believe that she's truly dead. Our next stop will be Karya Manor, where we'll start out at the moon-gazing site of Grace, which, as you can see from the map footage, is in the northwest corner, and it's also the location that you'll have to face down a mini-boss, Royal Knight Loretta, before gaining access to the Three Sisters area. If you've explored around the Three Sisters while progressing through Ranni's main questline, you may have already come across Selvus's creepy basement full of lifelike puppets. If you haven't, it's understandable since the staircase within the ruins between Ranni's Rise and Renna's Rise is hidden by an illusionary floor. As you follow the game footage and we get closer to the hidden creepy basement, If you're finding any of this information useful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any new mid-40s gamer content. And if you aren't too busy wondering why white chocolate doesn't contain any cocoa and technically isn't chocolate, leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know how we're doing. After wiping out the weak guard that was obviously placed here by Celia, we'll seek out the hidden floor that reveals a set of stairs leading underground into a crystalline room filled with various lifelike puppets. If you take a good look around, there are a few puppets that you might actually recognize, but to access the one you're looking for, you'll have to move all the way to the back of the room and remove yet another illusionary wall to uncover Sellen's new body. After plugging Sellen's primal glintstone into her body like a Tesla power cell but minus the ridiculous charge time, she'll briefly thank you and explain that she's headed back to the Academy of Raya Lucaria to remove the Karya royal family so that she can restore the primeval current. Our final stop as far as the quest line is concerned will be the Academy of Raya Lucaria, which as you can see from the map footage is smack dab in the middle of Lairn of the Lakes. From here, you'll have to fight your way through the Academy and face off against one of Elden Ring's prominent bosses, Queen Rennala. Once Queen Rennala is defeated and the area has been reloaded, just outside her chamber you'll be able to locate two summon signs, one red and one gold. Choosing the gold sign will send you to help Sellen defeat Jaren, and choosing the red sign will put you on the other side of the fence. Obviously, there are two ways to go about this, which is to either side with Sellen or to side with Jaren. For this run though, we chose Sellen since the reward package is far more lucrative, and after all, who doesn't want more loot? Siding with Sellen will give you Jaren's eccentric armor set, and after the battle, Sellen will remain in the Grand Library, where she'll give you the Glintstone Chris dagger and sell the Shard Spiral sorcery. After finishing up with Jaren, you can exhaust Sellen's remaining dialogue, grab the Glintstone dagger, and head out to collect the loot that you really did this quest for. Our first stop will be back to Mount Gelmir, where we first ran into Master Azor, and in his place will be the Azor Glintstone armor set, which has a helmet even Elon Musk can't ignore. Azor's helmet increases the damage of the Azor Comet spell by 15%, which is a must for casters looking for big boss DPS. As you might have guessed from the game footage, after looting up all of Azor's armor, you'll have to put your spelunking shoes back on and head down to the location where Master Lusat was, fight the lone Glintstone sorcerer again, and make your way to Lusat's last known location in order to pick up his complete armor set. After returning to Rae Lucaria, you'll notice that there's something strange about your former teacher, Sorceress Sellen. No matter what you choose, you've now seen Sellen's story through to its grim conclusion, and while it's not a happy ending, at least you can buy spells and loot up her helmet to wear in her honor. Well folks, it looks like we're coming to the end of another Elden Ring video as we dig around in our magic bag of tricks and figure out what kind of wizardly things we'd like to make use of. We'd like to take this time to personally thank you for watching, and if you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you don't miss out on any new mid-40s gamer content. And if you found any value in this video and you'd like to support a small channel, we've added a thanks feature to all our videos just for you. And if you aren't too busy wondering why a venti drink at Starbucks has the same amount of espresso as a grande, leave us a comment in the comment section and let us know how we're doing. So until next time, just remember, more people have cell phones than toilets, Play-Doh was originally a wallpaper cleaner, and as always, good hunting.